Hello, fabulous Virgo. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of June 2015. Love focus. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. What an important month it is for all of us in the context of love, and you are no exception to that rule, and that's largely thanks to Venus. Venus will enter shadow this month in preparation for her rare retrograde, which begins next month. Now, I spoke about this in the 2015 year ahead forecast for just about every sign, and I would have spoken about it definitely for your sign as well, because a lot of the learning that's coming up now is going to reach right to the heart of you. So you are going to want to watch that again. Love gets decidedly personal, goes inward, goes behind the scenes as you start to look at where it is that you are in love, and more importantly, why. Where have your expectations, where has your inner motivations that you weren't so conscious of before determined where you are in love and what needs to heal or be resolved or needs to be forgiven or put in the past if you're going to embrace a greater and greater love. So this is going to be a huge, important part of your learning now and in the months to come. So again, I would advise you to watch that year ahead horoscope where I talked a lot about that at length for your sign. Also, with this given period, I do think that this is going to be a time, along with going inward, that you start to consider some options that maybe you kind of said, no, I'm not going to go there, maybe not that. And I think you might find yourself quite surprised by being drawn to somebody that before you might have said no to. So let's go through this one at a time based on your status coming into the month. If you are in an established bond, unique to this month, I do think what's going to end up being a more dominant energy for you is going to be this particular full moon that we are starting the month with. Now, this full moon is speaking with Neptune in your opposite sign, and it suggests to me that a partner and you may not be in agreement in matters related to home, matters related to where you live. Now, it could be repairs or renovations that need to happen. It could be where you're actually living. But it looks like there is some stuff that needs to be talked out, that needs to be worked out with a partner so that the two of you can feel at home with each other and where it is that you live as well. So that is particularly relevant for those of you who are in an established bond. If you are either dating somebody or wanting love, there's a bit of a connection there in that I think you'll be thinking about how to make your home more available to a partner. Are you living in a space, are you living in a way now that actually welcomes in a committed partnership if that is something that you want? Is your environment set up to welcome that into your life? If it isn't, you're going to be honest with yourself. You're going to be looking at that and considering what changes need to be made so that you can welcome in greater love, or so at the very least your home represents a receptiveness to having the type of love that you desire. But of course, as is happening, it really is all about Venus. You cannot understand this month without understanding it in the context of Venus. And I do think that this month, and especially in the later part of the month, you'll start to get an intimation, a little inclination as to what it is that you really want to do, what it is that you've kind of been denying yourself, but also what it is maybe that you've been carrying that maybe isn't so good for your relationship as well. So pay attention to what starts happening as we enter the last week of the month. So as we enter the last few days in particular, but in particular the last week of the month, you really want to pay attention to what is taking place, because these are going to be themes that you are actually going to return to as we move forward in the weeks and months to come. And these are themes that are going to represent to you where developments and how developments are likely to unfold. I don't think it'll be that uncommon, honestly, for Virgos out there to be considering or thinking about, or, all of a sudden find themselves flirting with somebody who previously they were like, no, that's off limits. Or this has to do with really, because of the secretive element to this, knowing that if you walk down a certain road, this is something that's really going to have to stay private that's really going to have to stay secret. If you have been carrying a secret that you know affects your love life, affects your partnership, you haven't been wanting to be honest about it with someone else or with yourself, this will begin a process where you start that journey and consider if it is worth it. But what I really like about what takes place this month, and especially as we're ending this month, is that Venus is going to speak in supreme harmony with Uranus, bringing all kinds of romantic surprises. This should be the time to watch. This is going to be the time when the light bulb comes on and you go, oh, I get it. This is where the learning is. This is what Venus retrograde is going to mean to me coming up. Because that's when it's going to become clear to you who that person is, or what that lesson is, or what it is that you've been, kind of carrying and not wanting to look at, who it is that is interested in you that you had been completely oblivious to, or who it is that you now are thinking that you want to take things forward with, even though part of you might think it's not such a good idea. This at least is going to start to get you honest with yourself and is going to open you up to consider what it is that love is supposed to be for you. Again, as part of some larger lessons that are going to reveal themselves more fully in the weeks and months ahead. What I love about this month for you is that element of being honest with yourself. That's what starts now. And self-honesty really is where the power is. So allow those lessons to come. Be gentle, be receptive, and be open to them. Let your heart feel full and let matters of heart come forward. And from there, you will find a whole set of lessons start to be revealed that will lead to a life of greater love than you've known before.